Well, hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here once again. Half of you are probably sick of hearing my voice, seeing as I already posted a video earlier today. So, for those of you who haven't seen that new video, be sure to check it out. I'll put the link to it at the end of this video, as well as down in the video description, where we discuss some pretty disconcerting things happening with planet Earth in that video. But in this video, I also briefly wanted to touch on what I could only call yet another frightening revelation. And I don't know what it is over the past 24 hours with all of the different video topics that I seem to be reporting on, or all of the creepy or frightening kind, but what are you going to do? And so, most of you have heard of something called Cern. And if you haven't, it's a European research organization that operates the largest particle physics laboratory in the world, based in Geneva, Switzerland, and operates what is known as the Large Hadron Collider. Now, what is the Large Hadron Collider? Well, it's the world's most largest and most powerful particle accelerator and collider. It's the largest machine in the world, in fact, and it basically consists of a giant circle of metal piping buried underground that stretches for miles and miles, and where within this highly magnetized tubing, just as the title suggests, they smash particles together, sending one particle from one end towards another particle on the other end, where they finally meet in the middle, smashing together, after which they record the resulting events that are caused by said collision. And so this machine allows physicists to test the predictions of different theories of particle physics and the searching for new particles that we've never seen before, with an ultimate goal to basically answer the many unsolved questions about physics. However, as many of you also probably know, since its inception, Cern and this collider have been a very hot topic amongst the internet community, the scientific community even, as you're about to hear, because when you are dealing with particles like this, when you're dealing with things on a subatomic level, you're smashing particles together at a record speed of around 186,000 miles per hour. This has been said to also be very dangerous, potentially. And one of the scariest predictions or theories or possibilities, really, that mainstream scientists have come out and said in the past that could come from smashing these particles together is the creation of a mini black hole or black holes, in which, in theory, once some of these particles are hit and they connect right at that moment, and with just the right conditions, we could see the creation, right at that exact moment, of a miniature black hole that would actually be invisible for the first few moments after its creation. It would be so small, it would be microscopic. However, as with all black holes in the universe, they do nothing but grow in size, eating up everything around them and sucking everything in to their event horizon, and that is exactly what has been predicted to happen, or to potentially happen one of these days, where you would have a black hole, mini black hole created that would, over a matter of hours, possibly days, grow in size and literally start swallowing the Earth whole. And while many who work for Cern and the companies that back Cern have come out a few times over the years and said, oh well, this is nonsense, it's totally safe, there's nothing to worry about, well, of course they're going to say that. They have a business to run, they have scientific work to do. I understand they don't want any unnecessary fears being put out there, but when you have articles like this that have just been published, where you have Britain's leading scientist and one of the most well-respected cosmologists and astrophysicists coming out and voicing his concerns that these mini black holes could be created, well then, I think everyone should at the very least give this a second look, and that's exactly what's happened. So a man by the name of Martin Rees, who has been widely known as Britain's top scientist and cosmologist and astrophysicist. He was the master of Trinity College, Cambridge from 2004 to 2012, and president of the Royal Society between 2005 and 10. This guy has done it all, published book after book after book, paper after paper. This top scientist flat out states that the Earth could shrink to, quote, the size of 2 football fields if these black hole experiments go wrong. And so according to this report here, which I'll link below, it says, quote, Professor Lord Martin Rees has said that, quote, a doomsday scenario could see our planet reduced to 330 feet across if particle accelerator experiments mess up. The respected astronomer made the outlandish warning in his new book on the future prospects for humanity. The Large Hadron Collider has already helped with breakthroughs in our understanding of the universe, but the particle accelerator, which shoots them at incredibly high speeds, also carry high risk. Further stating, quote, a black hole could form and then suck everything in around it. And even one step further, he goes on to talk much more about the possibility of just mini black holes swallowing up the entire Earth. He also goes into a second scary possibility, wherein which the quarks, as they're called, would reassemble themselves into compressed objects called strangelets, saying that in itself would be harmless. However, under some hypotheses, a strangelet could, by contagion, convert anything else it encounters into a new form of matter, transforming the entire Earth in a hyperdense sphere about 100 meters across. A third danger is that the particle accelerators could destroy the Earth by a catastrophe that engulfs space itself. And so here we have 3 different, very scary possibilities that can come from smashing these particles together, and I guess some have said it as playing God, using science to mess with things that shouldn't be messed with. And again, just to play devil's advocate here for Cern, they have a safety assessment group that has come out and said that a catastrophe is, quote, very unlikely to happen. And that according to a 2003 report, the collisions of these particles present no danger and that there is no reason for concern. And that basically particle colliders are throwing together particles in a way that could happen out in the real world or that is already happening. But on the contrary, many are saying that this is an extremely vague statement with no real proof or concrete assurances backed up by evidence that a black hole couldn't be created. And that maybe we've just been lucky up until this point that one hasn't been, or a number of these other possibilities. Now, if you remember, I've also posted some photographs over the past couple of years that were captured right above this collider or near it, where there was some very strange and eerie looking weather that was occurring above the collider, from just massive storms, creepy clouds, lightning coming down that looked like something out of, a scary movie. They just didn't look like your typical storms. Photographs like this were also snapped of these very strange cloud rings, I guess you would call it, that contained, as you guys are seeing here, these almost perfectly spaced apart little rivets or circles or squares or whatever they are. It does not look like your typical cloud, especially when it has these, these links wrapping around it. And so, I definitely think there's much more to this story. I think they're testing some things there that could result in some pretty scary stuff happening. They're not going to say anything to the public. Of course, they're going to reassure the public. But when you have top scientists, well-respected people like this guy coming out, I think it just goes to show, again, that certain things maybe just shouldn't be played with. because I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to wake up to the earth being swallowed from the inside out around me. That would just be a terrible, terrible day. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think. I will link to this report down below. Again, if you haven't seen my original video I posted today, which I think is only at like 60,000 views so far, not very much, be sure to check it out. I'll put the link down below and at the end of this video. I've got much more coming, so you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all back soon.